Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty and the Frizz. My name is Kara and I'm really excited because for the last 3 weeks there has been no mimosas and makeup. I know, but we're back. Red wine today. I'm really excited about this video because I'm gonna share with you 10 of my favorite spring eyeshadow palettes. And if you know me, eyeshadow, that's the business right there for me. So whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by. It's a great day to stop by and I'm so glad you're here. If you want to see the palettes I'm going to show you, just keep watching this video. Let me know what you think and definitely consider subscribing and joining the community because I would love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So before we get into it, this video is a collab. I'm collabing with my girls, Yadi Beauty and Ashley from Dr. Ash and her makeup. So when this video is over, I know Yadi's going live and Dr. Ash is gonna be uploading her video. Please check them out. They are just amazing content creators here on YouTube and also really, really great friends. So yes. Now, get into these palettes. I am not one who seasonally changes makeup. I know that some people do that, but I do not do that. I just want to wear what I feel like wearing at the time. So when you think about spring makeup, I think a lot of people think of like pastels, light colors. I'm thinking that's what people think about. I don't know. That's what came to my mind. But when I sat down, I thought about my spring palettes. Some of these you may or may not, get that vibe from, but this is what's on my list. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with these palettes. I love palettes. I love eyeshadow. And I'm really, really excited to see what Yadi and Ashley are going to pick because we just said we were doing a collab. We don't talk about like what we're picking at all. So let's get started with palette number 1. There will be a slight bit of cheating in this video, just a smidge, but hey. These palettes are not ranked in any order. Palette number 1 is going to be the Mothership II by none other than Pat McGrath, Mama Pat. Yes, here is the packaging. Do not sleep on this palette. This is what I have on my eyes. I did film this look on Instagram. I did like a live, just real quick. And it's on my IGTV and I just popped on these pink lashes from Amazon. I just thought that was really cute. It's like a pink smoky eye. Yes, I mean, who doesn't want a spring smoky eye? I know what you're thinking. You're probably like, what about Divine Rose? What about Divine Rose 2? I mean, Pat has a ton of pink palettes, but I just can't anymore. I can't. And when I thought about spring and what I'm gonna probably be reaching for, it's going to be Sublime for sure. Let's take a look at the palette. So aside from this black shade here, you've got a pretty neutral palette with a pop of green. She's got some awesome special shades in this palette here. This one, these two, and of course, Blitz Emerald is gorgeous. Would have done a look putting Blitz Emerald all over the lid, but I just did a green look last week in my video and just wanted to do something different. And I thought this was like a really beautiful spring, but kind of smoky look. It's not, really deep, but I just love, like, this is the shade I have on my lid and it is a duochrome. This reminds me of Tucana from Divina Cosmetics. It's that pink and gold flip. Blitz Emerald. Like, please respect my privacy at this time. Gorgeous shade. And the copper, I think this is, what is it, VR? That's not what it's called, I'm about to make it up. Bronze 005, I have that in the inner corner. Beautiful. Those 3 shades are standouts for me, as well as Rose Dusk, which I think is in Divine Rose. I was gonna say Divine Rose 1. This one here. And it's a satiny shade, but you use it like a matte. That's it right here. But these 4 shades alone are so beautiful in this palette. Look at those. Look at those. This says spring to me, okay? I'm not, like I said, into all these pastels and things like that. But I mean, I like pastels, what I'm saying, like, but that calls to me. That is a rose. That is a rose with the leaves and the stem. And I need another Mothership along these types of lines with less pink. So this is number 1 on my top 10 spring palettes list. Number 2, stay with me, okay? Natasha Denona Trio Chrome palette. Now, I know what you're going to say. Does this give a spring vibe? Yes, this gives a grungy spring vibe to me. And grungy looks are my favorite, so I'm thinking about like, what am I gonna be digging into? I mean, this palette is an all year round palette for me, but to me, it does say spring. It says grungy spring. So let's take a look. You've got pastel grungy mattes. Here. I just love these here. This one, all of the mattes in here. The mattes are why I bought this palette. Let's just go ahead and like just understand that. I bought this palette for the mattes. But these little like lime greeny shades, look how beautiful those are. They're creamy. They have a lot of pigment. I'm gonna keep going, hold on. These are great mattes, you guys. I don't know what to say. Here are just a few swatches of those. And then of course you have the Trio Chrome shades, which is what, you know, people were buying the palette for. You've got those as well. So of course you've got those shades right here. I could have used this in the smaller size, but this is my favorite Natasha Denona palette. I don't know what else to say. Definitely had to have this on my list, and that's number 2. Number 3. This palette is one of the first eyeshadow palettes I think I bought. And I remember that I bought it during the first time I shopped the VIB sale, which was the 2019, the fall one. And that is Mercury Retrograde by Huda Beauty. This palette, I believe, is on sale. It is on sale. I don't believe. It's on sale for $47.50. I paid $67 for this. You can get 20% off at Sephora right now if you get it before the 19th. Hopefully they'll have it in stock. When this palette came out, what I didn't understand was why she came out with a palette like this at the end of the year. Maybe this was the equivalent to a holiday palette, but I really didn't know anything about holiday releases in 2019. So, and I know that was not that long ago, but y'all know I'm new to this. I'm true to this, but I'm new to this. Now, come on. This palette right here, look. This is a great palette. I don't know what else to say about it, except it's a great palette. When I look at what Huda is doing now with all the obsessions, the 9 pants, the browns, the swirl shades and all that, no, leave those alone. Come back to this. This is a great palette. Even the shades that look almost like pressed glitter, to me, they work really, really well. Some of the standout shades for me in this palette, we have Haze as a standout for me. This blue, it's beautiful. Hot Mess. Love this shade right here. This is a great shade. I love this deepening shade, Vortex. I mean, this palette, those are the 2 shades. And then Nebula is the shimmer right there. Of course, there are a couple of shades. Oh, I love Karma too. This one right here, Karma. This is a great one as well. Great, just a really, really nice transition shade. Now, I am not certain how well this palette works, like some of the mattes on deeper skin tones. But for some reason, I feel like this palette would work. I'm not sure why, because I don't know. But I do feel like it will work. There's even kind of a duochrome shade here. And it's the shade Frazzle. This one right here. Let's see if we can see that. I don't know if it's gonna really pick up, but I just love that you can do a basic neutral look. You can do color, but it's not gonna be like, you know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. So if you're still shopping the Sephora sale, this might be worth your while getting, because the regular price was unacceptable. I don't understand when people know that my door is locked. I don't know if y'all can hear that, but you know what I'm doing. Yes? Oh, what do you need? Are you clothed? Are you with clothes? Oh. You can get a drink. It's so freaking dramatic, y'all. Okay, so that was number 3. Palette number 4. Palette number 4 is none other than Tiny Marvels by Sydney Grace. Here is the outside of the palette, and then we'll look at the inside. I think this is one of my favorite palettes that I bought last year. I just think that it's great. I think it's great all year round, but what stands out to me for spring would be some of these pastels here. I love this green mantis shade and the gold. None of those are my favorite shades though. My favorite shade, Fire Butts. Yes, Fire Butts, Metal Hawk, Marvel, Bugaboo. All right, Love Bug is good. Hold on, Web. I mean, these are just, let's see. So Fire Butts is definitely a standout. Mantis is a sure standout in this palette though. See, Metal Hawk. I'm gonna show you the swatches. I'm just putting them on here really quick. Marvel, love Marvel, beautiful, Love Bug, and Bugaboo. Yes. Yeah, these are probably my favorites in the palette. Fire Butts being my #1 favorite. So this was just great. All of the shade choices are amazing for this palette, and I think that the variety of looks that you can get from this palette take you way beyond spring. But Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson coming together for this collab, I just think it was very well done. I think that Mel Thompson, as in her love for, you know, all her tiny marvels and her tiny critters and creatures, I definitely feel like that concept was translated in this palette. And I know that it sells out and gets restocked. If you don't have this and you were interested in getting it or forgot about it or forgot that you wanted it because there's so many new things out, I think this is still worth getting if you don't have it. This is a really good palette, y'all. I can't say enough good things about this one. So, all right, that's 5. So number 6, we have Ice Cream Dream by Glamlite. Y'all, look at this. I mean, to me, this says spring. And the thing is that I know the layout, you know, looks all over the place. Not right now. Okay. We were supposed to do that the other day, but I need to finish my video. Today? I need to finish my video. Can't do anything until that. Okay. I know that the layout of this palette, it may be hard to see, but this one's worth having because there are some neutral looks that you can create, especially with these browns, maybe using that orange, and there's like a kind of a champagne shimmer here. But of course, if you're a neutral lover and you like pops of color, you definitely have that. If you just love color, you've got that. You've got your pastel mattes, you've got pastel shimmers. I just think you have it all with this palette. So many shades to choose from. What are my favorites in this palette? I just think all the mattes are really, really good. For shimmers, pecan, praline, or pecan. You've got that one, strawberry cheesecake. Ooh, I don't even know how to choose which ones I'm gonna swatch. You got birthday cake. Birthday cake is this green right here. I love the shade lemon. That's just your yellow. I mean, these are awesome. If you haven't tried Glamlite, they have a very, very nice eyeshadow formula. One of the things that I always like to mention, Cookie Monster. I love Cookie Monster. These are just some of the mattes. We have mango, we have orange cream, and Cookie Monster. Those are here. One of the things that I always like to mention about Glamlite is their foodie boxes that they have here and there, where you can get some full-size products, and it's a really good sample of their brand because they usually give you a palette, they usually give you lashes, they usually give you gloss. And all in all, I really love this brand. I just think what throws people off is the food packaging, and that the packaging may not be very convenient. This comes inside of a big ice cream truck, but you could always throw the ice cream truck away, and this is much more easy to store. But they do have some palettes that are not easy to store. They have a burger palette, a donut palette, and you know, sometimes that throws people off. Some people are over that, but I really do like their eyeshadows, and I think they're really, really nice if you haven't tried Glamlite. All right, so that was number 5. Moving on to number 6. For number 6, I'm choosing the Nomad Harajuku Tokyo eyeshadow palette. Now this palette I have not yet used.
Over here, here's where is the helicopter, which we could take for later in the episode, but we got one of the minions. He's manning that right now. I'm going to get up on top of here. This is where the stuff is. I don't know exactly how we get up.
Now they know I'm cooking. Let me tell y'all this real quick. So I got one of my little home chef meals, right? So this week is what's it called? French onion. I'm all off track now. Hold on, let me get my wine here. So what I got this week is called French onion meatloaf, right? So I put it all together and everything, and I knew August wasn't gonna want it. It's ground beef or whatever. August was like, I don't like meatloaf. So I started to make these 2 meatloaves, and I put all the ingredients in it or whatever. But August likes meat sandwiches, aka burgers. I patted them bad boys up and put them right in the oven, so they are done. So they're having burgers tonight, not knowing that it's meatloaf. So hopefully they'll eat that. I just can't. Like, it's just too much. All right, so back to what we're here for. So we've got Nomad Harajuku Tokyo eyeshadow palette. I think I already said it. Have not used this palette yet. Cannot wait to use this palette. And here it is. So okay. First of all, yes to these colors. Yes to all of it. Okay. And I love that it's pastel, but then you still have these grays here. Love those 2 grays. I need grays in my life. But this whole bottom row of these shimmers, come on. Yes, ma'am, I'll take them. Like, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. And they're like, I think they may be better as toppers, but they are gorgeous shades, and they would make beautiful toppers for any of those mattes that are in that palette. I cannot wait to like really get into using this one. Now I do know, some of these look a bit satiny. I think maybe I think the first row is all mattes, and the second row are like satin mattes, and then the third row they was like all shimmers, They was like, give us the shimmer. So yeah, I don't know if you can see that these on this middle row are more satiny, but this is a beautiful palette. I think there's a lot of looks that you can do. However, I just know that this is not gonna frost everyone's cookies. You know what I mean? Some people just are not into all the pastels, but again, I love that they included that gray, because that gray is something that I would for sure be utilizing when I do use this palette. So yes, we've got Nomad for number 6, I think that is. All right, number 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, this is number 7. For number 7, we have Fairy Frolic by none other than the Alien Cosmetics. I think this was the second palette that I purchased from them, because I got this one as well as the holiday palette, and here it is. Alien Cosmetics is just near and dear to my heart. I think this makes a great spring palette. And if you like grungy spring, you've got your little grungy shades to kind of complement it. I just love these like mustardy yellows and these like lime greens. I just think that they look so good, and I feel like they look good on everyone. I have mentioned it before. Alien Cosmetics has a way of having these shimmer shades that actually look wet. Like, to me, they almost look like a liquid. Like, that's how I feel about them. It's just a really unique and special brand as far as I'm concerned. Just gonna swatch a few of the shades, and then this grungy orange and the lime green. I do have a video with this palette, so I can link it, but here are some of the shades, and they're just beautiful. They are just Just so beautiful. I really like this palette a lot. I like the color story. I think the color story is really unique. So I think one of my favorite shades in the palette is this one, this coppery shade. So may be available for pre-order. This one sells out a lot, but it always comes back for pre-order. So if you're interested, just check out her Instagram page or, you know, the Alien Cosmetics website to see what's up with Fairy Frolic. Great palette though. Yes it is. Yes it is. Yes please. Okay girl, so this is where the cheating comes in, because I just felt like I couldn't separate these next two palettes. So this is number, what we say, 8? Yeah, this is number 8, even though it's 2 palettes. I was not separating them because I feel like this is a sequel to this. So we have Give Me Glow's Vintage Rose and Vivid Rose. Now, Vintage Rose came out first, y'all. And I'm gonna tell y'all about Give Me Glow in a minute, but let's just look at the color story of the palette. Hello, why? I think they're having a restock soon too, and they're about to come out with an all pastel palette, which I don't need. I know sometimes I say that their mattes are scratchy, and I have said like I haven't enjoyed the experience of putting on the mattes. However, part of me saying that I think was me being new to working with mattes like these. They are extremely pigmented, and they don't remind me of it, but it's just like how Melt, their shimmers and sometimes their eyeshadows kind of have a learning curve where I've learned to pretty much pat in those shades. That's what you need to do with the mattes from Give Me Glow. And their shimmers would be really good to use with a glitter glue or something like that. But these shimmers are so splendid. Okay, let's just do the shimmers in this palette. The mattes are great. Like I said, they're nice. But these shimmers, I don't care if a palette is old or it came out however many years ago. Like, if it's a good palette and it's worth getting, I'm gonna get it. I don't care. Like, that's where I'm at. I'm not all about the new. I'm about the good. And this one, these shimmers are so beautiful. They just pack a punch. Like, the color story of Vintage Rose is just a beautiful color story. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. So when I saw Vivid Rose, and if you recall, I got an empty palette the first time, so I got this one a bit late. My mail was all crazy. But look at Vivid Rose, y'all. Look at I just feel like together, these are just great complementary palettes. So let's see if we can have them together. All right, so I'm trying to have them together, but I could not separate these. I just felt like, you know, looking at these as one palette, like there's no duplicates. To me, there's nothing close. Let me just show you some of my standouts. Pretty Peony. That's that hot pink. It's crazy to me. Look at that. Look how, that's like a strong pink. Like, and let me just do the shimmers really quick. This is just a really gorgeous palette. Let me tell you what else I love about this palette. These 2 shades right here. He Loves Me, Talk Dirt to Me. I love those types of mauve-y transition shades, but the shimmers in this palette are just like, it makes a really nice contrast. And that's why I couldn't put Divine Rose on here, because to me there's no like contrast like that in the palette. I mean, the whole palette is a standout. I'm sorry, I did not like really swatch them evenly, but these are, I don't know. I just really like both of those palettes and together, and I just had to keep them as a team. So that's number 8. Moving right along, palette number 9 is the Norns. by Odin's Eye Cosmetic. Here she is. And when I was thinking about this palette, I just love the foresty shades, but the shimmers, especially the ones on this bottom row. Those shimmers on the bottom row are very, very, very beautiful shimmers. They are very beautiful. Okay, here they are. Look how beautiful those shimmers are. And this is just the bottom row. These have a sparkle to them that is just, this blue is phenomenal, okay? That one, they are just so foiled. They are foiled, they're metallic, they are just very beautiful. Here's Green Chameleon, which is another nice shade. It's just a really nice palette. I just think you can make some really nice, like, little foresty spring looks. And like I said, that bottom row with those foil shades is just gorgeous to me. And when I think about the Norns, and I'll link my videos up about the Norns, but they were outside, you know, they lived by a tree. They took care of this tree. So I'm just thinking about nature, and just, that's what this palette says to me. It's like nature, you know, I don't know, wilderness, I don't know. That's just what made me pick this palette though. It had to go on the list for me. So that's number 9. Number 10 is a new one. I've only used one shade, but I think this would be great. This is going to be more of a companion, and it is Plain Jane by Adept Cosmetics. Let's take a look. So all of these are those duochrome shimmers. I just think that this palette would be a beautiful complement to any spring look that someone was trying to create. You can So what you can you sit out on a bench while I go get the toenail clipper? Okay, go ahead. So he was gonna sit in here and wait for me to be finished so I can clip it. Let me come on with Plain Jane. I have only used one of these shades so far. I can't even remember which one. But when I thought about spring palettes, even though it's a newer palette, I just thought this would be a great complement to anything that I would want to use. Like if I use my if I use my Viseart matte palette, or my Alien Cosmetics Capricorn palette, my Blend Bunnies, any of my all matte palettes, like this is going to be a beautiful complement to any spring look that someone would want to create. And I think it's beautiful. I know the pre-orders come and go, but definitely think the colors in this palette are really, really nice, you know? And again, I'm not one that doesn't use certain colors during certain times of year. And I do know that some people may switch up their makeup like that, but not me. So this is really beautiful. And I love having all of those, you know, kind of shimmers like that in a palette, and just picking a partner palette to go with it. So that's my number 10, which is really an 11. So I'm about to make your burgers. Close my door. So anyway, you guys, that is it for Mimosas and Makeup today. I am really glad to be back in business with Mimosas and Makeup, because I miss having that Sunday talk time with everybody. Sometimes things are just really busy lately, and I'm just trying to listen to myself. If I'm like, you know what, Kara, this is not your week. Like, I do know that y'all will be there, and you all have been very, very supportive of me. And I really, really do appreciate that. And thank you if you stopped in on like the 2 lives that I did on Instagram. I appreciate it. They're just a bit easier for me to film than trying to set up a formal live on YouTube, especially when I just don't know how my time is gonna work, and then I can just do it from my phone. So I would like to do more of those in addition to the looks that I do here on YouTube. But anyway, I thank you guys so much. Like, really, I really do. So I hope you have a great Sunday. Please go check out Yadi. She is going to be going live very, very shortly with her 10 palettes, and that's what I'm going to be looking at. And also check out my girl Ashley from Dr. Ash and her makeup. Again, I always get so excited to see what other people view as, you know, a spring palette or just other perspectives when it comes to makeup. So I thank you guys so much. So enough of that. Make sure that you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice. Stay safe. And I will see y'all really soon. Bye.